When you think of the hardest animal to keep in a zoo, what comes to mind? Pandas, elephants, polar bears, maybe even cheetahs or okapis? Well, the truth is, it's more complicated than most people realize. Today, we're exploring what makes certain animals nearly impossible to care for, and why zookeepers sometimes struggle to meet their needs. And if you also happen to love zoos and animals, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because understanding these challenges will completely change your next zoo visit. So first, what does it actually mean for an animal to be hard to keep? It's more than just size or how much food they eat. Zoos can measure this difficulty in a few ways: space, diet, climate, social needs, stress levels, and even breeding challenges. Some animals need huge territories to roam, like elephants or polar bears. Others are picky eaters, like pandas. Some thrive in only very specific climates, while others are so social that being alone or in the wrong group can cause serious stress. And then there's the ones that just refuse to breed unless everything is perfect. And just to be clear, today we're focusing on animals traditionally found in zoos, because marine animals are a whole other beast entirely. Now that we know what makes an animal hard to keep, let's look at the ones that give zookeepers the biggest headaches, starting with the ones who you might expect, and then some surprises along the way. First up, elephants. Huge, intelligent, and social. They're a real challenge for zookeepers. In the wild, they roam miles every day in complex family groups. In captivity, zoos have to replicate that with massive spaces, enrichment, and careful social management. At the St. Louis Zoo, Asian elephants rotate through multiple habitats, giving them variety and simulating natural behaviors. On the other hand, Disney's Animal Kingdom offers a large African elephant exhibit with mud wallows, trees for foraging, and enrichment programs that keep the herd active and engaged. Even with the best care, elephants can develop stress behaviors like pacing or swaying. Breeding adds another level of complexity, because the average gestation period of elephants is nearly 2 years. Seeing a healthy, thriving elephant herd in a zoo is a result of careful planning, observation, and dedicated care. Next up are pandas. These bears are deceptively tricky to keep. They eat almost nothing but bamboo, have extremely low reproductive rates, and require constant care to stay healthy, because when they're acting like this, it's honestly a surprise that they can even survive in the wild. The Memphis Zoo made headlines when Yaya returned to China after 20 years, while her companion, Lily, passed away shortly before, raising questions about his care and the challenges of keeping pandas long term. Zoo Atlanta faced a similar situation when it sent its pandas home in 2024 after their loan agreement ended. Meanwhile, newer pandas at the San Diego Zoo and the National Zoo in DC show how modern conservation programs and improved exhibit design can give these animals a better chance to thrive. Pandas might look cuddly, but behind the scenes, zookeepers are constantly juggling diet, health, and breeding hurdles. And then you've got polar bears. These Arctic giants are built for the cold. Vast landscapes, not concrete enclosures. They need room to roam, icy water to swim in, and complex enrichment to stay mentally sharp. Some zoos get it right. Columbus Zoo and Detroit Zoo have massive polar bear habitats that mimic icy terrain and give the bears plenty of space to explore. But not every zoo meets that mark. San Diego Zoo has faced criticisms for climate concerns, and shockingly, some zoos in this century are still using outdated grottos, tiny, barren concrete caves that are basically animal torture. Keeping polar bears happy isn't just about space, it's about climate control, enrichment, and proper habitat design. Get it wrong, and the bears will show it. Okay, so we've covered the basics, but some animals are hard to keep not because they're massive, but because they're sensitive. Cheetahs, for example, need huge amounts of space to sprint. Without room to run, they can develop stress behaviors and even health problems. Their diets are specialized, and social dynamics are tricky. Introduce the wrong companion, and anxiety can spike instantly. Okapis, the forest giraffes, are even more elusive. Shy by nature, they're highly sensitive to noise. They don't breed easily in captivity, and their habitats must mimic the dense, quiet forest of the Congo to keep them comfortable. Both these species demonstrate that size isn't everything when it comes to difficulty. It's about stress, environment, diet, and social needs. Every active, healthy cheetah or okapi you see in a zoo is a product of meticulous planning, constant observation, and thoughtful habitat design. Beyond the obvious heavyweights, many other animals give zookeepers serious headaches. Though we won't focus on them, marine mammals like orcas and dolphins require enormous amounts of filtered water, precise diets, and complex social structures. Even small lapses can cause stress, illness, or behavioral issues. Koalas are another tricky case. They eat almost exclusively eucalyptus leaves, which are low in nutrients and sometimes toxic if not prepared correctly. Their digestive systems are incredibly sensitive, and they need strict temperature control and quiet habitats to stay healthy. Snow leopards, native to the rugged mountain environments, need cool climates, large climbing structures, and enrichment that challenges their hunting instincts. Without these, they can become lethargic, anxious, or develop stress behaviors. Each of these species highlights a different kind of difficulty. Whether it's diet, climate, space, or social needs, caring for animals in captivity is a complex balancing act. And it's why a zoo isn't just a collection of animals. It's a careful, ongoing effort to replicate the wild as faithfully as possible. So, which animal is truly the hardest to keep in the zoo? Well, the answer isn't simple. It depends on what you measure. Cost-wise, pandas take the crown. Their bamboo diet, international loan agreements with China, and specialized care run into the millions. Space and enrichment? Well, that's elephants. They need huge habitats and constant stimulation to stay healthy. Climate control and specialized environments? Polar bears dominate here, as replicating icy conditions in warm climates is a massive challenge. Stress and breeding difficulties? Cheetahs and okapis often top the list, as even small changes can disrupt their behavior and reproduction. And this isn't even counting all the other species we talked about, or the many more that didn't make it into this video. Each one presents its own unique set of challenges, which is why zookeepers and designers have to adapt constantly. Ultimately, the hardest animal to keep shows us that zoos are far more than entertainment. They're about conservation, research, and giving animals the best possible care. Every habitat, every enrichment activity, every zookeeper's observation is designed to help these incredible creatures thrive, even when it seems impossible. So next time you walk through a zoo and see a healthy elephant, a playful panda, or a massive polar bear enjoying its habitat, just remember the effort behind it. It's not just an exhibit, it's a story of planning, dedication, and respect for the wild. If you enjoyed this deep dive, drop a comment below with your guess for the hardest animal to keep, and of course, hit that subscribe button for more tours, explanations, and behind-the-scene looks at the zoo world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Virtual Zoo.